Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare quarter-dollar coins, cause some of these coins hold an incredible history, and some are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest varieties and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're shining the spotlight on a coin that many people have in their collection without even realizing its potential value. We're talking about the iconic United States Washington quarter dollar dated 1776 to 1976. Now, at first glance, this coin might look like just another quarter. You might have one lying around in a drawer, in your piggy bank, or maybe even jingling in your car's cup holder. But here's the twist. This little coin, created to celebrate 200 years of American independence, could be worth an absolute fortune if you happen to have the right one. Let's take a step back in time. In 1976, the United States celebrated its bicentennial, 2 full centuries since the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. To honor this historic moment, the U.S. Mint released special bicentennial designs for the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins. The Washington quarter received a completely new reverse design for the first time in over 40 years. Instead of the traditional eagle, the back of this quarter features a colonial drummer boy standing proudly with a torch surrounded by 13 stars, symbolizing the original 13 colonies. It's a patriotic and beautifully detailed piece of American history in your pocket. The front, or obverse, of the coin still features George Washington's profile, but with a twist. Rather than a single date, it carries a dual date, 1776 and 1976. This special touch reminds every holder that this coin marks a once-in-a-lifetime event, the nation's 200th birthday. Now, millions of these quarters were minted, both in Philadelphia and Denver, and also in San Francisco for collector's sets. So what makes some of these coins incredibly rare and worth so much money? It comes down to a combination of condition, composition, and minting mistakes. While most of the coins were made for everyday use and show signs of wear, some were struck with incredible precision, preserved in perfect condition, and stored away before they ever touched human hands. These are what collectors call mint state coins, and they're the first step toward big value. But there's more. Some of these coins were minted on 40% silver planchets instead of the usual copper nickel. These silver quarters were not made for circulation, they were sold in special sets and only to collectors. If you happen to find one of these silver versions in uncirculated condition, you're holding a much more desirable version of this coin. And now we get to the most exciting part, the rare airs. These are the hidden gems that can turn an ordinary bicentennial quarter into a collector's holy grail. We're talking about double die errors, where parts of the design appear twice due to a misalignment during minting, or off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't lined up properly, creating a dramatic and unique appearance. There are also instances of quarters struck on the wrong metal blanks, including some incredibly rare examples struck on planchets meant for foreign coins or other denominations. When these rare traits combine, say, a silver coin with a double die error in mint state condition, you're looking at something extremely valuable. And collectors are always on the hunt for the best of the best. Coins that have been professionally graded and given a high rating, like MS 67 or higher, are especially prized. These coins show no visible wear and have a brilliant luster that makes them stand out in any collection. If you're someone who loves coins or just enjoys the thrill of the hunt, this is one coin you don't want to overlook. Every time you see that drummer boy on the back of a quarter, take a closer look. You could be holding a piece of American history and possibly a jackpot in your hand. So here comes the golden question. Just how much could a rare 1776 to 1976 Washington quarter be worth if you've got one with a mint error, in uncirculated condition, struck on silver, and professionally graded at a top level? Brace yourself. Because some of these coins have sold for as much as $81,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter dollar, something that normally buys you a pack of gum, could be worth more than a brand new car or even a down payment on a house. So, what are you waiting for? Check your old coin jars, look through those forgotten boxes in your attic, and ask your relatives if they ever collected coins. You never know, you just might find the next great treasure hiding in plain sight. Top 2, we're talking about a modern coin that's already turning heads in the collector world. You might even have one in your pocket right now without realizing how rare and valuable it could be. Get ready to dive into the story of the 2021 Washington quarter, Crossing the Delaware edition. This isn't just any quarter. It's a bold return to tradition and a salute to American heritage. But some rare versions of this coin are worth way more than 25 cents. Stick with me until the end because we're going to reveal just how high the value of this quarter can go. And let's just say, it's enough to make your jaw drop. Now, the Washington quarter has gone through many changes over the years. From the original Eagle Reverse to the long-running State Quarters and America the Beautiful series, this little coin has always reflected the nation's story. In 2021, after the America the Beautiful series ended, the U.S. Mint brought back a classic feel, but with a brand new design, instead of a scenic landscape. The reverse of the 2021 quarter features an iconic and heroic image of General George Washington crossing the icy Delaware River during the Revolutionary War. It's a powerful scene, Washington standing at the bow of a boat, cape flowing in the wind, sword raised, eyes forward. This image captures a turning point in American history and makes this quarter one of the most dramatic designs in decades. Now, while this coin is relatively new and millions were struck, not all quarters are created equal. What separates a valuable coin from an ordinary one are a few key factors: condition, rarity, and most importantly, mint errors. Let's talk about condition first. Most of these quarters were circulated, passed from hand to hand, scratched, and worn down. But a select few were never touched, stored safely in mint sets, or pulled straight from rolls and preserved. These are the ones that can receive the coveted mint state grade when submitted for professional grading. If your coin has a sharp strike, strong details, and flawless surfaces, it could be a serious contender for collector value. But it's the errors that really excite collectors, and this 2021 quarter has produced some remarkable ones. There have been reports of struck-through errors, where debris interfered with the design during minting. Others show die cracks, where raised lines run across the surface of the coin due to a damaged die. And then there are the most dramatic ones, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even double dies, where parts of the design or lettering appear twice. These types of mistakes don't happen often, but when they do, collectors go wild for them. Some of the most desirable versions of the 2021 crossing the Delaware quarter come from the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But even more sought after are any with known minting defects that stand out clearly. A bold doubling of the words, a clear misalignment, or a major off-center strike can turn an everyday coin into a rare collectible. And here's something every coin lover knows: rarity plus demand equals value. This quarter, with its sharp design and patriotic theme, already has a special place in the hearts of American collectors. Add a significant mint error and high-grade condition, and suddenly, you've got something incredibly valuable on your hands. So what does all of this mean for you? It means it's time to check your pockets, go through your spare change, and revisit that coin jar sitting in the kitchen. You might be holding a coin that others are desperately searching for. And now, here's the moment you've been waiting for, the big reveal. If you're lucky enough to own one of the rare 2021 Washington quarters featuring the crossing the Delaware design with a significant error, in pristine mint state condition, your coin could be worth as much as $78,000. Yes, you heard that right. $78,000 for a quarter minted just a few years ago. So don't overlook your change. Coins like this are proof that history, artistry, and a little luck can combine to create a treasure hiding in plain sight. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, the thrill of the hunt is real, and the rewards can be life-changing. Top 3, we're diving into one of the most talked about modern quarters in U.S. coinage. It's elegant, historic, meaningful, and in some very rare cases, it's shockingly valuable. We're talking about the 2022 Washington quarter featuring the legendary Maya Angelou, a coin that made history in more ways than one. And believe me when I say, this is no ordinary piece of pocket change. Some versions of this coin, under very specific and rare conditions, have sold for eye-watering prices. So stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand what makes this coin so special and just how much one rare piece could be worth. Let's start with the story behind the coin. In 2022, the U.S. Mint launched a brand new series called the American Women Quarters Program. It was designed to celebrate groundbreaking women in American history, women who changed the nation through courage, creativity, and leadership. And there was no better way to kick off the series than with the iconic writer, poet, and civil rights activist Maya Angelou. The design of the coin is simply stunning. On the obverse, you still have the familiar profile of George Washington, but even that was updated. For the first time in decades, Washington faces right instead of left, based on a sculptor's original 1932 design. This modern twist connects the past with the future, setting the tone for a new era of US quarters. On the reverse side, the real star of the show, you'll see Maya Angelou with her arms raised gracefully, with a bird in flight behind her and rays of sunlight spreading out in the background. It's a powerful visual, inspired by her autobiography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, and it captures her spirit of freedom and inspiration. The imagery, the symbolism, the artistry, everything about this coin tells a story. Now here's where things get really interesting. Millions of these coins were struck for circulation, yes, but not all of them were created equally. Some very rare versions of the 2022 Maya Angelou quarter have what collectors call errors, and that's when the magic happens. These mint errors can come in many different forms. There are die chips, where excess metal appears on the surface like a blob or wart, sometimes even on Maya's hands or wings. Then there are struck-through errors, where a piece of debris or grease gets in the way during minting, leaving unusual marks or missing details. One of the most exciting errors found is the double die, where letters or design elements appear to be stamped twice, slightly off-center, creating a bold, shadowed look. These aren't flaws, they're rarities. Another major point is the condition of the coin. A 2022 Maya Angelou quarter that's been circulated through hands, wallets, and cash registers may only be worth its face value. But one in mint state condition, meaning it's flawless and never been touched, can be highly sought after, especially when combined with an error. If you have a version that's been professionally graded, say MS 67 or higher, and it has a dramatic mint error, then you've got something collectors will fight over. Let's not forget, this quarter isn't just a coin. It's a piece of social and cultural history. Maya Angelou's presence on U.S. currency marks a major milestone, making this coin deeply meaningful and incredibly collectible. It represents not only her literary legacy, but a shift in whose stories we honor and how we preserve them. So, why are collectors going wild for this coin? It's because it checks all the boxes: historical significance, beautiful design, limited mintage and high grades, and the potential for stunning mint errors. And anytime a coin fits that profile, the value can skyrocket. Which brings us to the moment you've all been waiting for. If you happen to own a rare 2022 Maya Angelou quarter with a major error in mint state, professionally graded and authenticated, your coin could be worth as much as $75,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single quarter from 2022, just 3 years ago, could be worth $75,000. This is why checking your change isn't just a habit, it's a treasure hunt. That coin you received as change from the grocery store, the one sitting at the bottom of your coin jar, or that quarter your kid found on the sidewalk, any one of them could hold extraordinary value. So, take a closer look at your coins. Grab a magnifying glass. Study the details. You might just discover that you've been holding a piece of American history and a small fortune at the same time. Top 4, we're diving deep into a coin that millions of people have seen, touched, and probably spent without a second thought. The 1990 Washington quarter dollar from the United States of America. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, the 1990 quarter? That's not even that old. And you'd be right. But here's the twist. Sometimes, age doesn't define value. Sometimes, it's what's hidden in plain sight that makes all the difference. Because while most 1990 quarters are worth, well, 25 cents, a few rare ones are worth a fortune. So get comfortable. Turn up the volume and listen closely, because by the end of this video, you'll know why coin collectors across the country are keeping a sharp eye out for this specific quarter, and how one rare version of it could be worth more than you ever imagined. Let's start with a little history. The Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1932, originally created to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The obverse has always featured Washington's iconic profile, a calm but commanding presence. The reverse, at the time, showcased a proud eagle with outstretched wings, symbolizing strength and freedom. In 1990, the design was still classic and familiar. There were no state or national park themes just yet. But that's part of what makes this particular year so special. It represents the final era before major design overhauls would take over. But beyond the design, what makes the 1990 quarter truly stand out are the errors. The tiny, accidental details that can turn an everyday coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Now, let's get into what every coin collector is really looking for: rarity and minting mistakes. That's where the big money lies. Some 1990 quarters have what's known as off-center strikes. That means the design wasn't perfectly aligned when stamped. so the image appears shifted or even missing on one side. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable the coin. Then there are double die errors, where certain parts of the coin, like the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or even the date, appear to have been stamped twice. This creates a shadow-like effect that can be clearly seen without magnification. It's a collector's dream when you find one that's bold and cleared. There's also the possibility of clipped planchets, where the coin wasn't perfectly round when cut from the metal sheet, resulting in a quarter that's missing a chunk from the edge. These are rare and incredibly collectible, especially if the rest of the design is still well preserved. And speaking of preservation, condition is king. A 1990 quarter that's been rattling around in someone's change drawer for decades won't fetch much. But if your coin is in mint state condition, no scratches, no signs of wear, and with full, sharp details, it could be a prime candidate for professional grading. If it earns a high grade, like MS 65 or above, and especially if it has a visible mint error, you're looking at serious collector interest. You also want to pay attention to the mint mark. In 1990, quarters were minted in Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco with an S. While most regular circulating coins came from Philadelphia and Denver, the proof coins from San Francisco are special. These were made for collectors, struck with extra care, and can be highly valuable when kept in pristine condition. Now here's where it all comes together. If you're lucky enough to find a 1990 Washington quarter with a major error, like a bold double die, a dramatic off-center strike, or a significant clipped planchet, and it's in near-perfect condition, then congratulations. You may just be holding a jackpot in your hand. And now for the part you've been waiting for. How much can this simple-looking coin actually be worth? Hold on to your seat, because in the rarest of cases, a 1990 Washington quarter with the right error and a high professional grade has sold for as much as $72,000. Yes, that's right, $72,000 for a coin you might find in your pocket or at the bottom of a forgotten change jar.s next time you're sorting through your spare change. Don't ignore the quarters. That 1990 piece of metal could be a hidden treasure. It's a reminder that even the most ordinary things can have extraordinary stories and extraordinary value. Top 5, we're diving into the 1998 United States Washington quarter dollar, a coin that, at first glance, looks just like any other quarter you've used to buy a soda or feed a parking meter. But stay with me, because hidden among these seemingly ordinary coins are rare variations that are catching the eyes and the wallets of serious collectors. Now, why 1998? Why is this year so special? Well, 1998 marks the end of an era. It was the very last year before the U.S. Mint launched the highly popular 50-state quarters program in 1999. So, the 1998 quarter was the final chapter of the original eagle reverse design that had been in use since 1932. Think of it like the closing scene in a classic movie, a coin that quietly wrapped up decades of tradition just before a new wave of designs took over. That alone gives it a certain historical charm. But there's more, much more. Let's talk about design and features first. The obverse side, as always, features the familiar portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. The reverse shows the heraldic eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbols of both strength and peace. This is the traditional look of the Washington quarter, and 1998 was its final bow before history took a sharp turn. Now, for most people, the 1998 quarter is just another coin. But if you're a collector or just lucky, there are certain rare variations and minting errors that can transform this common coin into an absolute treasure. Let's break it down. One of the most exciting and valuable types of coin errors is the double die. This happens when the coin design is impressed twice at slightly different angles, creating a shadow or doubled image effect. On a 1998 quarter, you might spot this on the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or even the date itself. When these doubling effects are strong and clear, collectors go wild over them. Then there are off-center strikes, where the coin is misaligned during minting, leaving part of the design missing or shifted. A severe off-center error that still shows the full date can be a collector's dream. But wait, it gets better. Another highly sought-after error involves planchet issues, like coins struck on the wrong metal or blanks intended for different denominations. Imagine finding a quarter that was accidentally struck on a nickel or dime planchet. That kind of mistake can send its value skyrocketing. You should also pay close attention to the mint mark. In 1998, quarters were struck in 3 locations: Philadelphia, with no mint mark; Denver, marked with a D; and San Francisco, marked with an S. The San Francisco coins were produced as proofs, intended for collectors, and struck with special care. If you find a proof coin in circulation, that alone is rare. But a proof coin with a mint error? That's the kind of thing collectors dream about. And, as always, condition is everything. A quarter that's been banged up in circulation won't get much more than face value. But one that has been preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially if it's graded MS 65 or higher by a professional service, can command a serious premium. Now, what makes this even more thrilling is the fact that these rare coins are still out there. Unlike older coins that are mostly in collections or museums, the 1998 quarter is still found in circulation. That means your next trip to the grocery store or gas station could bring you face to face with a coin worth thousands. If you know what to look for. So how much can a rare 1998 Washington quarter be worth? Let's set the scene. Imagine a coin with a bold mint error, such as a double die or an off-center strike. Now imagine it's in mint state condition, professionally graded, with sharp details and perfect luster. That coin becomes more than currency, it becomes a piece of numismatic history. And here it is, the big reveal. One of these extremely rare and flawless 1998 quarters has been valued as high as $69,000. Yes, you heard that right. $69,000. From a quarter most people wouldn't look at twice. So, here's your takeaway. Never underestimate what might be hiding in plain sight. That handful of change in your drawer, that coin you almost gave away as tip money, it might just be the treasure you didn't know you had. If you enjoyed this video, and you want to learn more about valuable coins, rare mint errors, and the hidden gems in US currency, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell. Because we've got more stories, more coins, and more surprises coming your way. Until next time, keep your eyes open, check your change, and happy collecting.